for producing behavior.
Programmed behavior, formed in our brains during our evolutionary past, survives intact today.
These programs are there to solve problems that our hunter-gatherer ancestors had to be very good at solving in order to survive and to reproduce.
But the world that shaped us has gone. This mismatch between the life that made us and the life we now lead is at the heart of what it means to be human.
A lot of the human condition can be understood in terms of the abilities and desires that natural selection fitted us with that often work at cross purposes to the goals that we set for ourselves.
Our ancient minds function as though we are still in the world that made us.
The genetic debts that allowed us to survive, 50,000, 100,000 years ago, when we needed to eat as much as we could when there was food, so you could survive the winter. Now, of course, winter never comes to Southern California, so we have the expanding universe here.
But evolutionary psychologists believe that evolution has done more than shape animal instincts like hunger. It also formed our unique human behavior.
The reason that we behave as we do in the present is because of natural selection in the past that caused us to have the kind of mind that we have. And that mind is one that causes us to love our children, to feel deep affection for our friends, to love our spouses, and so on.
But for some, evolutionary psychology gets human behavior back to front.
It starts from, here is something in the modern world. You can take absolutely anything, our desire for Starbucks coffee practically, and you can then work backwards and say how, in some way or other, this fitted in with what went on in the primordial swamp.
Human beings differentiated from their ape-like ancestors long, long, long in the past, and we have no evidence at all about what went on. We only know what we've got.
Can we really find the truth about ourselves in our unknowable evolutionary past?
I don't think that a naive evolutionary psychology is any good to us, but I don't think ignoring evolution is any good to us either. I think we have to do both.
Are we inside or outside nature? Can we separate the thinking human from our distant animal past? By the end of the 1980s, the difference between humans and animals was about to be tackled by DNA. Jim Watson took his discovery of the structure of DNA to its logical conclusion, the Human Genome Project.
It's a set of genetic instructions which makes possible human life. It's the blueprint. It tells why we're a human being and not a monkey.
This time, Watson had a new collaborator, Professor Craig Venter. Their ambitious vision was to map the sequence of every single gene in our DNA.
Of course we had to sequence it. We needed to get the information, and it was going to drive all the other science forward.
But there was an obstacle to identifying each human gene: technology. Analyzing DNA was still done by eye.
When you're holding up this X-ray film to the light and trying to guess, is there a little band there or not, quite often that's what people did. They just guessed.
The technological breakthrough came in 1986, when an American laboratory developed a technique of tagging each of the 4 letters of the genetic code with different colored dyes.
When it turned out we could read the data directly into a computer and also speed up the rate of doing it, I just got very excited about it.
That set the stage when thinking about a human genome project was no longer science fiction. Until then, it was effectively science fiction.
Venter was one of the few scientists using the new automatic sequencing technology. Now all Watson needed was money.
He testified before Congress that I had the best lab in the world, and he needed $5 million more to give me immediately to start sequencing a human chromosome.
Watson said that it was his dream this would be what a fitting way to end his life. He had started it all, right, with the discovery of the structure of DNA, and now we would decode it. We would unravel the secrets Now, you can ask, who believed that?
This will be the scientific breakthrough of the century, perhaps of all time.
Watson's pitch worked. He left Congress with the money. Venter started sequencing, the prospect of an epic scientific discovery in his sights.
These were new tools that I used to make scientific breakthrough. Galileo had to build his own telescope. I went and bought one, but I looked further.
DNA was about to leave the laboratory and enter the outside world.
Until then, this was a very small group of basically white men working together on very fascinating issues, but it hadn't reached anywhere like this scale of importance that it's attained today.
What had once been the solitary pursuit of scientific truth was now a massive public enterprise. Much was promised, much was at stake. DNA was now entwined in politics, business, and money.